Hello and welcome to the Performance Kitchen. This is the only place where you get to see what real athletes eat. So today I'm joined by British high jump record holder and silver medalist at the Commonwealth Games, Isobel Pooley. Isobel, come join.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And yeah, very exciting today because we have some fantastic dishes that you're going to cook for us, right? Mm-hmm. The first one is a beef and vegetable ragu.
Yeah.
Right, so what ingredients do we have here?
So we have got a whole load of basically different vegetables, and essentially it's whatever you've got in the fridge. I've always seemed to have veg that's kicking around. And so I've got some mushrooms, I've got carrot, about 3 carrots I've just chopped up finely. Okay. Basics for a ragu, just start with an onion, a bit of garlic, we've got tinned tomatoes, red pepper and a stock cube.
Brilliant.
And the star of the show, we've got some lovely steak mince.
Not just steak mince, this is like very special steak mince, right? This
is premium steak mince because I'm actually lucky enough to have a sponsor who's got a farm locally. I'm a bit addicted to farmers markets.
Right.
And
how did that come about?
Well, I went to uni in Nottingham, and our campus called Sutton Bonington won an award for the best farmers market in Great Britain. And so I'd been kind of going for the whole year, and in the second year, the farmers called Tori and Ben, who have a stall, and
that's the name of the company.
Tori and Ben's farm. They said to me, when are we going to sponsor you? And I was like, are you for real? That would be amazing. Because I get through quite a lot. I need a lot of protein. I get through quite a lot of meat. So they provide me with not just meat, but this is like steak. It's like your premium steak, and it's so you can see it's so different from what you get in the supermarket. It's not that pink. It's not been pumped full of water. It's just the real deal.
And now talk us through this.
This is incredible contraption.
Right. I've never seen anything like this before. So we're going to be making, or Isabel's going to be making Swede spaghetti.
I'm going to let you do it.
I might mess it up, but we'll see. How does this work?
So this is a spiralizer, and they're quite fashionable, and I only got one in, they seem to be the big deal this year, but I got one for Christmas, and it's really changed the way I cook.
First things first, what should we start chopping up here?
So we're going to chop up the onion. That's going to go in the pan first. So if you want to,
we've already got some chopped.
So we're going to I'll grab a knife too.
Fantastic. So you've just recently got back from Portland in America, right?
Yeah.
And you're at, is it the World Championships you were at?
Yeah, World Indoor Championships. So we've got a really nice big pan because it's the only one we're going to use apart from for the Swede, so we might as well.
We're going to whack some coconut oil in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I'm a fan of olive oil because I know it's really good for you, but I think coconut oil is up there as well, so we're going to use a nice...
Yeah, a good olive oil will work, but coconut oil does the job just as well. And
melt that down.
Are we throwing all the veggies in, because the veggies go in first and then the meat, right?
Yeah, so we're going to sweat these down just because, onions are one of those veg that as you cook them a bit more, they get a bit sweeter.
Okay.
So if you think about caramelised onions, that's where the sugar in the vegetables really sort of come out.
Right.
So you haven't added any sweetness, but you've kind of tried to enhance what's there already. Okay. If that makes sense. Because I think a lot of people say, don't like vegetables, but they're not cooking them right.
It's just all about education, isn't it, really? And knowing how to prepare them, how to cook them, what kind of meals to make. So the onions, we chopped up 1 onion.
Yeah, I need something to push this around
with. We've got like a box full of mushrooms, 2 carrots, 1 pepper.
But the quantities, the proportions really don't matter. You'll just end up with...
isn't it, really?
Yeah, like absolutely. I'm going to put a bit more coconut oil in there.
So easy to make. If
we could have the carrots as well, we can just chuck those in.
Throw the carrots in. Here we go.
Because they're another veg that go really sweet. You think about carrot cake. I recently tried parsnip cake. I absolutely love parsnips. Like roast parsnips are the best bit of a roast.
Mushrooms, so we start cutting up some mushrooms?
Yeah, we need to do the garlic. If you could just, what you try and do...
I'm going to bang it. I'm not great at crushing garlic. So.
No, I'm not. I sort of try and use the flat of the knife, but I'm always a bit sceptical.
A little bit just went in my eye there.
Oh no.
And maybe I shouldn't be holding a knife like this. It's
I'm going to stand over here.
Don't try this at home.
No. There's something therapeutic about prepping all this veg as well. I don't know if I'm weird.
Oh yeah, I find that a lot.
But it's nice though. I'll stick these peppers in as well, more to get them out of the way than anything.
Peppers are in. So we've been going, about 5 to 7 minutes so far?
Yeah, they say...
The onions and carrots are sizzling up quite nicely there.
Because you just want the carrots to soften, and the onions are meant to go translucent.
Yeah.
And they're coming along, I reckon. But I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong here. Like this, what's going to go? It's going to taste nice, whatever, because there are nice ingredients gone in it. So the execution of it is very straightforward. So this is the last thing we're chucking in.
The last
bit of
bowl of vegetables that we're putting in.
I rely a lot on mushrooms because they just add a lot of bulk
yeah.
and lots of sort of goodness.
So much flavour.
Yeah,
as well, right?
I used to hate them when I was a kid. There's so many things that I used to really hate when I was a kid that I love now. And I think sometimes it's just a bit of patience and perseverance. You just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
And your tastes change a lot.
So what have we got here? We've got the chopped tomatoes.
Yeah, we've got a stock cube here and I've just slightly obsessively chopped it up a bit. But
okay.
You can crumble them, you don't have to chop them.
Okay,
it's just so that it mixes a bit. What we're going to do is try and brown off this mince. My pan's already pretty full, but I reckon what I can do is just shove the veg to the side.
Right, okay.
Because it doesn't matter if they cook a bit more, but if you could just stick that in here for me.
Is it just going in one big chunk?
And I'll break it up.
So we don't need to chop it up before we put it in, we're just putting it all in.
They told me at the stall at the farmer's market that thanks, I'm going to stick this up a bit as well.
Okay.
You want to get a bit of a brown colour on it.
Almost time to use
Can you see this beef is pretty much browned off. It's still a bit pink, but I like it a bit pink, so that's fine.
Let me mix this up a little bit here.
We're going to chuck these tomatoes in and the stock cubes going in there too. So we've got
stock cube.
I'm always scared that I've missed something completely, but we've got a stack of empty bowls, so that's looking good.
I think we're all covered.
The only thing left is the Parmesan cheese, and that's the last.
Do we throw any oregano or salt in at this point?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we do. Okay, I'll chuck a little bit in.
I'm not sure it matters when you do this.
A little pinch of salt.
If it does, then I don't know. Yeah, a little bit of salt, not too much. We can always add more later.
Is this a typical dinner that you have
this
most
is so
nights?
typical, at least once or twice a week. I'd probably be cooking at one of these.
And it never gets boring.
Partly because of this bit, which you're going to do.
Here we go. I'm doing this.
So
right, here we go. This is going to be.
We've got a Swede, and we have just peeled it. We've chopped the ends off, so we've got 2 flat ends.
Okay.
We'll stick it on here.
Okay. So here we go.
Right. Here we go with the spiralising. Do you want to have a go?
All right. I'll have a go.
What you're going to do?
I might ruin everything. But
yeah, you want to just keep the pressure.
So we've got to push this
on
in.
There. Yeah, that's what I tend to do, is have one hand down here pushing it and the other turning it.
Okay.
We'll do a joint kind of
joint effort. Here we go. Is it coming up? Kind of.
Other way?
Oh, here we go. Now it comes. Now it comes. So you have to do it clockwise, it looks like. Look at that. And there you have some spaghetti. Do you want to take over?
It's not the easiest thing, is it? Yeah.
I'll hold it down.
This is what always happens. I'm sure I haven't just got the knack of it. I'm sure there are some people who just do it effortlessly, but I'm not one of those people. It turns out all right in the end.
Look at that. It's amazing.
So you see what I mean? It's quite.
This is like a phenomenon.
It doesn't look like veg anymore, does it?
Incredible.
So you just kind of keep going until you've got enough, because the rest you can just put in the fridge.
Yeah.
You can freeze it. I mean, it's got a taste, but the way we're going to cook it, we're going to saute it.
Okay.
So it'll smell quite like vegetable-y, but at the beginning, but then actually it just kind of melts down into pasta and just takes on the smell of the taste of the sauce.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's fine. That's probably enough to get going with.
What an incredible way to make spaghetti. Look at that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can just buy one of these from somewhere like John Lewis.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, John Lewis would do it.
Fantastic. Coconut oil in a pan. The ragu is simmering, so as we said earlier, it can simmer for as long as you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll put that to one side. Bit of coconut oil in here, and then how long does the spaghetti take?
Well, you just cook it until it's soft.
Yeah.
So we haven't got that much here, so this will probably go quite quickly.
Okay. So Isobel, I've been reading a lot of your column on BBC, which is fantastic. You should check that out, BBC Sport website. And I've been reading a lot about you being into yoga. Is that true?
Yeah, I do a bit of yoga. Well, I tried it at uni actually. We had one of these free taster sessions. Right. And I just found it was really relaxing, because it was exercise but not the same as it is in training.
Seems to be taking over the world at the moment, yoga.
I just think it's because we're so busy, and everything's kind of about being on your phone and multitasking and being in a lot of places at once. And in yoga, it's the opposite of that. You have to be just where you are in the moment, doing what you're doing, which might just be lying on the floor and breathing, but you would not believe how satisfying that can be. And you walk out and you just feel totally at peace and almost like in control of your life, even if you're just in that 10 minutes or that hour session.
So we'll put the lid on now. It's been frying for a couple of minutes without the lid. Put the lid on.
It stopped smelling like Swede, so I put the lid on.
Okay, fantastic.
To get rid of that taste. Yeah, so it's more just about meditation. It's more about the mental side, because high jump is a lot about the mental aspect and trying to just be calm and be able to put your best performance forward, even if you're under pressure. Yeah. Because that is the thing, we perform in front of a lot of people, and that's absolutely brilliant when it's going well. But when you have a dodgy jump, you have to have that confidence not to panic and just go, all right, that one wasn't quite the one, but we'll just keep going and persevere on to the next attempt, because you get 3 at each height. Right. And the British record that I mentioned earlier, both of them were 3rd attempt clearances. So they only
held the record, didn't she? Or she equalled it before you broke it?
She was.
That tells you a little bit about how incredible it was that Isobel broke that record.
Well, how incredible she is. Have you seen her? She's tiny. She's an absolute phenomenon. She's brilliant. How she's
tiny. She's about my height.
Worked so hard. And I mean, being tall is an advantage in high jump, whichever way you look at it. And so she does so well in all her 7 events.
Makes it even more impressive, doesn't it?
And now she's had a baby and come back. I mean, she is the heroine of our sport at the moment. She's absolutely fantastic.
She's one to watch, as well as you, for the Olympics. Does your diet change much from leading up to something like the Olympics as it would do to like competing in the World Championships? Is there a different approach to the food that you eat?
Yeah, well, it's a 2-part thing. I mean, one thing is how much training you're doing and kind of how much energy you actually really need, and what balance of stuff, if you need more energy for kind of circuit training, which is more aerobic, or if you need protein for muscle recovery after like heavy weightlifting. So we will consider kind of, before we cook dinner, what training we've been doing, and also kind of what you crave has a lot to tell you actually about what your body needs, I reckon. Yeah. So on that day when you think, oh God, I really fancy some baked beans or something, where you don't even like baked beans or whatever, you're kind of like, okay, maybe my body needs a bit more of X, Y, and Z. So
it's incredible. You have to try and listen to what your body's trying to tell you.
You have to try and tune in. I think that's where yoga helps as well, because it helps you to be more mindful of what your body. But the other thing is where you are. If you're at home, I can cook this kind of stuff, and it's just a staple. I might have 3 or 4 meals that I cook in a rotation or whatever.
What's it like when you're travelling? Is it really hard to stay away from junk food?
Well, no, I don't know. It's just having a small portion of junk food that is not going to mess around with your diet. Whether it's junk food or not, whether it's just something that's a bit different, that maybe it's a speciality of the area, I'm determined not to miss out on that, because I'm doing all this travelling. I've been in Monaco, I've been in Japan, I've been in America more recently. I've had the opportunity to try all this different food. So if there's any way that I can do it and just have a little bit, or just have it kind of in between 2 other really healthy meals, then I try and do that. And as long as my body composition doesn't change too much, then I do get away with it, and it's just part of the adventure and part of the journey. Yeah.
So it is possible to keep on track with your diet when you're travelling?
Yeah. So I reckon this is done.
So here we go, let's serve it up. I've got a plate here.
Yeah.
We'll stick that right in the middle.
So.
And we've got some Parmesan to go on top.
Love a bit of cheese.
So the Swede, oh my God, they look incredible.
So, I mean,
these go on first.
Maybe it's more like noodles than spaghetti, but anyway, it means that you can have a nice comforting bowl of pasta, which you might not normally have.
Here we go.
So this is, I mean, it still looks pretty chunky. You can cut stuff smaller. Yeah. You can even put it in a blender. So, but that is how I like it. If you want to sprinkle a bit of Parmesan on top.
Here we go, let me do that. Bit of Parmesan.
What have you got? Parsley, an artistic leaf. That's what they do in the restaurant, isn't it? Like,
that's it.
Turns up with a leaf, and everyone always takes the leaf off, but it looks pretty, doesn't it?
Look at that.
There you are.
A masterpiece. Amazing.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let's give it a try.
Have a bit of the ragu with lots of cheese. Could put red wine in it too.
You can put red wine in it. So, oh, that's amazing. Maybe let it cool off a little bit first.
Really nice, actually.
It's so nice. That Swede spaghetti is incredible.
I wasn't expecting that, actually, because I was so distracted.
Amazing. You were saying earlier, I mean, it's similar to a bolognese, right? So, but
I don't call it bolognese because I think bolognese is specific. This is a ragu, which is anything you like in it. Yeah, so ragu. But you can throw, like you said, red wine or... Somebody called it bikini bolognese, and I quite like that, bikini bolognese. Bikini? Bikini because it makes you skinny. Oh, there you go. I don't know. Bikini Bolognese. Vegetable ragu. I think there's a gap in the market for it. Anyway, Bolognese. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. It's been great. Thank you so much, Isobel, for showing us this, and good luck with the Olympics. We're all going to be following you, and it'll be fantastic. Thank you very much. So join us next time for the Performance Kitchen, where we'll be cooking up another really tasty meal. Thanks, Isobel. Hey, nailed it. Look at that.